Today's podcast episode is brought to you by Hodinkee Insurance, a new venture partnering both Hodinkee and Chubb, two industry leaders in their respective fields. Hodinkee Insurance is a refreshing new way to protect the timepieces we enjoy and collect. It's a true game changer in that it was designed by watch enthusiasts for watch enthusiasts, and it makes the process of insuring your watches as simple as possible by eliminating the typical pain points that can make insurance such a headache. Stay tuned later in the episode for more information, and be sure to check out insurance.hodinkee.com or download the Hodinkee app on iOS or Android. Hey everyone, welcome to the 10 and 2 podcast. I'm Kat.
I'm Catlin.
And we're here every week talking watches, photography, adventure, and exploring the world of horology. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Doing real
Hanging
good.
in there.
Yeah.
Trying to.
It's the same. My life is the same. Every day is the same.
It really is.
I'm not complaining though, because I'm happy and healthy. So
I'm not complaining. Well, I don't know how I feel about the weather lately though. Like
the hot and cold.
It's so hot outside.
It's very hot.
It's like 85 degrees today.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the weekend, it's supposed to be 60 something.
Yeah. Well, when we left last week for Colorado, it was chilly. And I was surprised to come back and it was like in the 80s. I was like, oh, I thought it would be colder by now.
Tennessee.
And it tricks you. Your mind tricks you because the leaves are all falling. It looks very fall outside. Like you want to go grab your cute boots and put them on. But no, it's like,
hot.
It's so hot.
I was leaving my house the other morning and like it was gloomy outside and I was like, man, it's going to be so cold. I was on the phone with somebody and I was like, oh man, I bet it's cold outside. I should go grab a coat. And then I walked outside with like this thick sweater on and no, it was so hot.
You didn't account for the Tennessee.
I forget about Tennessee fall. Like.
Yeah. And winter now,
Yeah.
essentially, because I remember like the last two
All
Christmases.
right, well, let's knock on wood because I like the warm winters. I'm okay with
Christmas being like
I
in
don't
the
care
70s,
about snow. I don't care about snow.
but I just want
hate
Christmas
snow.
Day.
No.
That's all I ask.
No.
A little bit of snow.
No.
You don't have to work.
First of all, nobody knows how to drive in the snow
but
here.
it's Christmas Day. You're not going anywhere.
I need milk. I need bread.
You
at
better
my
get that
house.
before because you're going to have people over. It's already Christmas time. Like you're going to be prepared.
Christmas Day,
I want a white Christmas.
No. Then go to the mountains. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about Christmas?
What is
I'm
that
gonna
Christmas
get stressed
song?
out. I don't even know what we were talking about
I
before we
honestly
started
don't know
talking
either.
about Christmas time. It's
The
it's
weather.
not Christmas. Thank God. I'm not ready for it yet. So,
I'm ready for this year to be over, though.
but I feel like everybody keeps saying, oh, like, I'm so ready for this year to be over. It's not like come January 1st, it's magically going to get better.
I hope so.
No.
I hope so.
Nope. I'm a
It's gonna be
cynical.
real sad.
I'm very cynical.
Yes,
these
you
days.
are.
Oh.
Debbie Downer over here. Trying to look at the bright side.
All right. Well, speaking of bright side, we are getting into our monthly Q&A. Well,
Yeah.
we try and do a Q&A episode every
Yeah.
month. It doesn't always happen. But I love when we do them. And so
Yeah.
we put out a story on Instagram a couple of days ago, and we got some like really
Freaking
awesome
good
responses.
questions.
There's so many questions. We're no way we're going to get to them all.
Yeah.
So if we miss your questions, we're sorry. But yeah, like really, really exciting questions. So I am excited to get into it.
Yeah. And we'll try to go through as many as we can and try to be pretty quick. We have so many good ones today. I am really excited about it.
Well, before we get
yeah.
into our questions, Kat, what are you wearing on your wrist?
I am wearing the new Formex Reef Diver.
Yeah.
That we kind of got in, not really for a review. I am going to be doing a written review on it, but we got in just to check out. This is our first Formex, and we talked about it on the last episode. But yeah, really impressed by it. It's very cool, and I'm excited to do my review on it.
Yeah,
What about
for
you?
sure. I'm excited to check out your review. I'm also wearing a watch that we had in for a review, the Brew Retromatic, the new watch from Brew Watch Company.
It's very cool.
So very cool, very funky. I do kind of like this very funky vintage like aesthetic.
I feel like that watch is like a level up from Brew's normal offerings.
I would
we've
say that.
handled
We've
two.
had both.
And I feel like this is just slightly better, to be honest with you.
I would agree with the finishing. Like the finishing on the case design is really well done. I love that they have like this brush bezel basically, and then it moves into that high polished case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a really good job.
Very excited
I like
for
Brew's stuff.
I do too. I think that I like that it suits him as a person. I think that that's really important when you're starting any business. I think it has to be something you're passionate about. And he found something that made it that he was passionate about and turned it into that he was able to combine those passions.
Yeah, well,
of coffee and watches.
So, a lot of brands look to other designers and engineers to come up with ideas for their watches, where he is doing this all himself. And I mean, you can just see that, and he's very passionate about it. And yeah, I love the coffee and espresso theme of these watches, and I hope that continues. It seems to be really popular, and he's kind of sticking within his own little niche, and I like that a lot.
For sure, very much so. Well, Q&A time.
Q&A. All right.
That's all I got. I end at Q&A time. So, but we're just going to read through some of these questions on Instagram. Like Kat said, we'll try and keep most of our answers pretty short, just so we can get through more questions.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So from Mr. I think this is the top right. Okay. So from Mr. _WEVAAH 35. Weeva 35, I guess.
I
is
like
how you
to
say.
try and guess what people's Instagram handles actually
I'm
are.
terrible
Because I feel
at
like they don't get offended if you mispronounce an Instagram handle.
Okay. That makes me feel
It's
better.
not like you're mispronouncing their name.
That's
unless
true.
their name is their Instagram
I wish
handle.
their name would pop up. That would be really cool. All right. So he asked, do you think more brands should offer a mid-size version of their watches like Omega's old S&P mid-size?
Yes.
I do too.
Very short answer. I do, but I mean, I'll say I don't think the old midsize Seamaster Professional was very popular though. At 36 millimeters,
But they made it for so long.
They made it for so long, but there's a reason they're not making it now.
That's true.
With a new collection, so I don't think it was necessarily popular. I think 36 is a little bit of a struggle as a mid-size.
They also
watch.
They also got rid of they used to make a lady Seamaster, and they got rid of that. They got rid of the mid-size. So I think you're stuck with one option now. And granted, I love my Seamaster, but it is big.
Yeah.
Like I do wish there was a smaller. I may have gone with a mid-size option of this one, but I think that they could justify having the mid-size now and then offer it for smaller wristed people or even for ladies without labeling it a ladies' watch.
Yeah, I think in general more brands should go mid-size. I think 36 to 38 millimeter is a great option.
I think
that's
that
not being taken advantage of.
But then I'm also like, there's watches that are just great the way they are, and they don't have to offer. Like, I think about the Rolex Submariner. I don't think they need to offer a smaller version of that. I think it's good the way it is. But then it's like that. It's like the 41 plus.
Yeah,
I think that those are when you kind of want a smaller option.
It's easy for us to say we think that it's fine.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's still a lot of people who it doesn't work very well for. I mean, I do. I think more brands should do it. I think you should offer, if you're going to do it, you should offer the exact same watch, same specs, same movement, same everything.
Like the Tudor. Yeah. Like the Black Bay
exactly.
58.
Just in a little bit of a smaller size.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a very big push for it, and it would be very easy for a lot if you're not having to invest in new materials or anything like that. You're not having to invest in a new design. All you do is just make everything a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
I think they should, honestly.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, but that's why you're listening to this podcast. So. I think. I don't know why you're listening, but it's fine. Okay, so from @Gelatomancer, thoughts on Zen watches?
I love them.
I do too.
I think they're very, what's the word? Utilitarian.
Yes.
But I haven't had hands-on experience with them. I'd love to, and I think we both would, and we may at some point in time. But that's probably the reason we just don't talk about them too often. We haven't been hands-on with them. We do need to reach out. But I like the design. I like the look of them. They have some models that I really do like. Man, Blaine, our friend in San Francisco, had the Zen. Is the white dial with the black bezel? Is it the one?
All of these
not the
reference
104.
numbers. Let's look this up.
They were really popular for a good while, but I've always been really attracted to it.
It is the 104?
Yeah, it's the 104.
Okay.
It's the white dial 104.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. Like,
well, I agree.
I really like the white dial.
I think so much of it is just that neither of us have had hands-on experience. I think Zen is a brand that is growing in popularity. I think, and we talked about this when we had Cole on the podcast, that Instagram is a big platform for watch brands to grow.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I've seen Zen so much more on Instagram lately. So, I feel like they're growing in popularity. But I personally, I really like them. I've never held one. Like what you were talking about, the utilitarian, they're so clean and sharp and very
German,
modern.
that German style too.
Yeah, for sure. I think that design language definitely comes through very strongly.
I like them. All right. So Grand Seiko quartz watches. Oh, this is from, sorry, kind of important. This is from @Jasper_HK_. Grand Seiko quartz watches, yay or nay?
I say yay. I'm like really converting to quartz watches lately.
Same.
But and the Grand Seiko that I want is a quartz watch.
9F.
I think that there's a difference between there's a difference in a regular, like off the shelf, like, I don't know,
Swiss or Chinese
something you'd
quartz.
buy like at Walmart or something like that versus like a higher end, higher quality quartz watch. Yeah, I think that there's a difference in that. The finishing is usually different. They actually do finish the movements a little bit. But then also there's definitely a big difference between a regular higher end quartz movement and the 9F quartz movement.
Well, they're freaking growing their own quartz crystals too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that Grand Seiko is just one of those brands who understands the importance of quartz watches. They're not going anywhere, but they invest so heavily into developing, as perfect a quartz watch as possible. And there's a damn convenience to picking up a watch and it's set, it's running. You don't have to worry about, anything like that.
Absolutely.
I have no problem with it.
Same. I agree with all your points. And I think I understand why people look down on it. Not necessarily look down, but they think, okay, at this price point, why would I buy a quartz when I can buy an automatic watch for the same price? And I do understand that for sure. But Grand Seiko is not cutting any corners with the watch itself. You're still getting that incredible finish, and they're more affordable than some of their other offerings. So I think it's a great buy, and I absolutely adore the 9F. I would not hesitate at all if there was a watch from Grand Seiko that I liked to buy another 9F quartz. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. Oh, I really like this one. Okay. So this is a 2-part question.
Okay.
So this is from 1 watch, 2 watch, 3 watch more, which I love his username. It reminds me of a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah.
All right. So part 1, if each of you could have 1 watch of the other's collection, which would it be? And then part 2, which watch of yours would you be willing to trade for it? Because he couldn't just leave us there. It's easy to just want all the watches, but now we have to give up one of our watches.
So hard.
So,
I'm going through your collection in my head right now. I feel like it's got to be a fair trade. Dang. Okay, so I think probably I'd have to steal.
Oh, wow.
Trade.
Jeez. Now I know that I'm not. Well, do you have to trade me for your watch?
I don't know.
I don't feel so. All right, let's do this. You can take, or if you could have any watch out of my collection, what would it be? And then what watch are you willing to get rid of? You don't have to trade it to me. So it could be
like I would just sell it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, either way, it'd be the same.
Yeah.
But I'd probably be your Planet Ocean.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not a Speedy fan. I love your Speedmaster.
That's right. You have a hard time with chronographs, even though you really want one.
I know.
So bad.
It's a struggle, but I think I finally realized I'm just not a chrono person. Okay. So I think it would be the Planet Ocean. And then if I had the Planet Ocean, then I'd probably get rid of my Seamaster. I feel like, I don't know, it'd be a good trade-off, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
What about you?
I think I can't go after your birthday watch because I do love your birthday watch upcoming.
Yeah.
I think I'm going. I would want your Tudor. The Harris.
You can't flip it. Don't be flipping it.
I'm not going to flip it. I'm not Kat. Okay. Just kidding. But no, the green might be my I'm not going to say it's my new color, but I do really like the green.
Yeah. What would you trade?
Well, but also I'm trying to think of what's in your collection now because you've gotten rid of
I've gotten rid of a lot.
What would I be willing to give up? You know what? I'd be willing to give up the Planet Ocean.
Oh, fair enough.
Because I don't wear it.
You
as
do.
much
You have
anymore.
said that recently that you just don't wear that watch
I'm
that
not
much.
wearing it a lot. I don't know. Even over the summer, and it could just be that I didn't get to do like my usual summer.
Yeah.
Like, all the
Or
pools
you would have
were
worn
closed.
it,
All,
basically.
couldn't go to the beach. Yeah. So like, yeah, I couldn't do any of that this summer.
You stayed dark and gloomy with your Speedy.
Stay dark, gloomy, and pale as AF. With my Speedy.
We both are pretty pale. Like our arms are pretty white right now.
I know.
You're tanner than I am for sure.
Because I've sourced.
You sourced the sun.
I've sourced the sun because I can't take it anymore, and I just miss being like, oh man, sidebar, like whatever. But the thing about being Southern and a brunette is like, man, like I get so dark in summer, and I love that color.
Same. I need to, while we do have these warmer days, I need just to be out there sitting in my like shorts and just soaking up the last bit of it. 'Cause it's going to go.
It's going to be all gloomy all winter long soon.
I hate Nashville gloomy. It's just gross.
It's the gloomiest of gloomy.
Yeah.
Would you like gloomy somewhere else?
I think that winter in other cities, especially like Northeast where they actually have snow, it looks pretty. But here, like the trees are literally all dead. We don't have a lot of evergreens. So it's just bare. The grass is dead. Everything it just doesn't look good.
I just want to spend.
It's not a good look for Nashville. It's not a good look.
I'm fine with spending my winter months like further south.
That would be so nice.
Like I don't care about the snow. As I clearly made it very clear earlier. In this podcast.
I like California where it almost looks the same for a good part of the year.
I'm fine with that. People complain about like one season, weather. I'm good with that. If it's a good season, I'm down for sure. Okay.
All right. So next question.
Yes.
Let me scroll here. We answered that. I guess that was the only one on that page.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really like those other ones. We can come back to it if we need to. Okay. So from Jared V43, what's your buying strategy? Credit card, sell one watch and buy another, or you save for months?
Are you supposed to have a strategy? Question.
What do you do for like 99% of your purchases?
It's a little different though because I feel like so many of my purchases are just impulses. Honestly, I have used a credit card where I have no interest. Like I don't buy a watch unless I have the money in the bank to pay for it. But if I can take advantage of a no interest like credit card, then I will.
Yeah.
Especially if you have like really great points or something like that. I definitely encourage that. If you are essentially getting paid to buy something, then do it as long as you can afford to buy it.
Yeah.
I am wanting to get into the sell one watch to buy another. And I've said this a dozen times. I just need to do it. I need to rip the Band-Aid off and start selling. Like, I just need to sell one. And then somebody DM me and buy one of my watches without me having to actually sell
Do
them.
it.
Not any of my... I feel like
they're going to want like your good ones.
I know. Don't DM me for like any of my Omegas or the Manta or shit. What am I selling? I don't know. Anyways, I want to be that person who like sells and then buys stuff. I'm saving for months. I don't save for months, but I will agonize for months over buying a watch. If it's not an impulse buy, I will agonize it. And that is so stressful. And I don't like that. Yeah, I don't think I have a strategy, basically, is what I'm saying. So, Kat, what is your strategy?
Well, I think I'm definitely, I don't think I sell before I buy. I tend to do it around the same time. I'll buy the new watch and then I'll figure out what needs to go. And that's just a justification for myself.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes down to me having just too many watches that I'm not wearing. And that's why I do that. I agree that you could put a watch on a credit card. I've never done that. Or outright, if you want to call it that. And I've definitely never saved because I don't have the patience. We have a savings account and it just gets pulled from that if I really, really want something. And then we'll put the funds back in it over time. But yeah, I think that's about it.
You just have to do what works best for you.
Yeah.
Like, you know your finances, you know what you have going on.
If there's nothing you have that you want to get rid of, then don't do that. Then
save. Exactly. Definitely don't get rid of it. If you absolutely are just in love with your collection and it's perfect, don't get rid of a watch just for the sake of getting rid of a watch. Yeah. Like, save it for sure. I mean, for me, I definitely, famous last words. I've said this on the podcast a dozen times, but I'm like really trying to, curate a collection at this point and like really narrow down what I like. And I'm not buying watches right now. I'm not impulse buying watches, no matter how many times certain people want to DM me about their watches. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to really figure out what I want in my watches. And I have a bad habit of loving something for a short period of time and then just kind of like falling out of love with it.
Yeah. Do you think that is because it was an impulse buy initially?
No, because there's one watch that I have that I'm like that with. I'm hoping I fall back in love. And the
pilot watch?
The
Stova?
The Stova.
Yeah.
I was upset. I probably drove all of our listeners insane.
And you had it for a long time.
I had it James, shout out to James from Worn and Wound. He let me keep that watch for months.
Yeah.
And then I finally bought it and I wore it a lot. And maybe it's because of summer, that I didn't really wear it a lot.
And it's a watch that is typically worn on a leather strap for the most part.
Or a NATO. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel like about it this winter and all.
It's such a good watch.
I don't want to have a watch that I only wear for like one season a year.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds ridiculous. I know that I can wear it during summer. But if you're not going, it's like, I don't know. We'll see.
I understand that.
I'm not committing to getting rid of it though, because I do love it.
Yeah, I think you need to give it some more time.
Oh, I will give it like probably 8 more years before I even make any decisions. Y'all thought me buying a watch was
it's a limited edition too.
I know. So if I get rid of it and I regret it, then it's going to be... Thank you for adding to my anxiety. I appreciate that.
You're
some
welcome.
friends would be like, oh yeah, I fully support you, blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh, just remember... You're not going to be able to get that back.
That's what I'm here for.
All right. From @clever_bait, what is an unattainable grail watch for you? And this is interesting because when we were talking about this before, I feel like we're coming from very different places. Yeah. So what for you is an unattainable grail?
Well, for me, it's something that is no longer in production and that you can't really get very easy. I think a couple would be, I love the Tag Heuer Skippers. I think, what was the other one? Oh, the white Snoopy, the Speedmaster, the 50th. What is it? No, 40.
The 45th.
45th. The white
the
Snoopy.
Silver.
The silver. Yeah. No.
Is
that wasn't a silver.
I think it's just called a silver Snoopy.
Okay. Oh, it is? It was called a silver Snoopy too? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know that. Anyway, the white dial.
Yeah.
And
which is more attainable than the Tag Heuer.
Definitely.
To be fair,
because there's
you
more.
You just have to spend
a little bit more.
$30,000 on it.
Oh my God, are they at 30 now?
They were a couple of weeks ago.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they'd gone up that much. See, when I first started in the hobby, they were like trending around 13, 14. Little did I know I should have got one then. I mean, that's still a lot of money for a Speedmaster.
Yeah.
I just can't.
I agree. It's a lot of money for any watch, realistically, but it's definitely
just money that I would not be willing to spend because I know what its true value is.
Ooh.
What?
There's one for $42,500.
Oh my gosh.
Who is buying that? Let's look at
see, this just makes 24. Me angry.
Well, it's used, so I would think that it means that somebody actually bought. I think realistically, the thing about this watch is this was probably the first Omega limited edition Speedmaster that started like the Speedmaster chaos of like everything sells out super fast and then like they flip. It's the first one that I remember.
Yeah.
And then, you can't get a hold of them after. But again, also this was 5 years ago when Instagram really started to take off for the watch community as well. Instagram, it's all Instagram's fault.
Instagram does hype up watches quite a bit.
Because we hype them up.
Yeah.
So to be fair, so I think that, and then since then, it's been a little bit nonstop, like every Speedmaster limited edition. Shoot, y'all. Man.
How much?
56.
But see, that's the thing. Like, 47? Who's buying them for that price? Because then that's Oh,
Not
this makes me
me.
sick.
42. Oh my
I wonder if they went up
gosh.
even more after this
I
latest.
bet after. Yeah. I would imagine.
I want to see what these new ones are going to go for.
Did you see that there was one on eBay like
But
immediately?
how?
Because they don't have one yet.
But how could they list it if they don't even have it?
I don't understand
I don't
how
know
that
how
works.
eBay allows them to do that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a picture of it and it was just the
It was
stock
just a
image.
stock
How can you
image.
sell something and without even having it? I don't know.
Yep.
Y'all don't buy that one.
No, just wait. Like,
Just
have
wait.
something come
Try to
out.
get your name
They're not going
down.
to be a limited edition watch.
Even if you have
know,
to wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
it's
get it.
worth waiting.
I get it because people don't want to wait. And so it's just like Rolex. They're willing to pay X amount more to actually have one versus never being called or waiting years to get one.
Yeah.
Because we can be impatient. I can be impatient. So I understand it. But man, I would definitely try to get my
I can
name
be
down.
impatient, but I'm cheap. So
Yeah.
I'm not.
Especially when it's not like it's 1 to 2K more.
Yeah,
It's going to be
it's a
way
lot
more. I can't believe how much that one is. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was insane.
I'd go buy a Daytona if I was going to spend that kind of money. Yeah.
All right. So if you're this was your unattainable grail. So if you have $50,000 to spend on a watch,
Yeah.
And now a word from today's sponsor. Hodinkee, the preeminent resource for all things watches, has recently announced a new venture, Hodinkee Insurance. Created in partnership with Chubb, the world's premier insurer of valuable collectibles, Hodinkee Insurance is a game changer in how you protect the watches you love. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and in most cases, you can instantly protect your watches with comprehensive insurance backed by two of the most trusted names in their industries. In most cases, you won't need independent appraisals or sales receipts, and you won't even have to speak with an agent to get your quote. With Hodinkee Insurance, there are no deductibles, and you receive full worldwide coverage with appreciation protection, meaning that you're covered up to 150% of each watch's value up to the policy limit. Hodinkee Insurance is available to U.S. residents in all 50 states. Visit insurance.hodinkee.com or download the Hodinkee app for iOS or Android to learn more and sign up today. Are you buying the Daytona or are you buying Snoopy?
I guess I would still have it on the list because
All right.
I still feel like it's hard to get.
It's such a beautiful watch, too.
Yeah, it
It's
is a
just
favorite of
fun.
mine.
I do enjoy it. You've
All right.
always liked that watch.
I have. What about you?
I approach it differently. I just approach it as a watch that I will never be able to afford in my lifetime. And that's the there's so many of these watches that I just am obsessed with. But it's the Jacob & Co. Midnight Planetarium that I've been obsessed with forever.
Yeah.
For anything that all of that part out.
Okay.
It's the Van Cleef & Arpels Midnight Planetarium.
Okay.
Which is just absolutely beautiful. If you guys haven't seen it before, it's incredible. Like literally there's an entire solar system on the dial of this watch.
That's right.
All of the planets.
Is this the one that you saw when you went to Vegas?
I did not see, no, I saw one of the Jacob & Co. ones.
Okay.
One of theirs that they do that's kind of a similar idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love it. But it's like $300,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like if I am at this point in my life where I would spend $300,000 on a watch, I wouldn't care about what happens. And we've talked about this on the podcast before. Like, how could people spend so much and then use it as a sports watch or whatever? But I think it is the point where if you have that much disposable income to spend on a watch, you're not worried about scratching it up or the cost of service. Same thing with cars and boats and things like that. You know, people like that don't have to care.
Yeah.
Versus for me, I have to care about how much, things are going to cost to service and how much, the maintenance is going to be. And
I don't know. I tell you, if I won the lottery today, I still feel like deep down inside my roots would not go away and I'd still be kind of the way I am
Humble.
about things. Yeah.
Oh, I agree. I don't feel like
I know when you're kind of not being scammed, but I don't know. I don't want to pay more than what something actually is worth, no matter how much money I have. It's still a hard thing to do.
Yeah. But I feel like at some point it's hard to determine what a watch's worth is. Mm-hmm. I think it's easy to assume that we know how much stuff is worth, but how much worth do you put, or what's the price tag you put on one person hand making a watch movement? how much is that worth?
Yeah.
You know, how much is that kind of experience worth? It's outside of like the materials
it's
and things
basically
like
like
that.
artwork when you think about
exactly.
it. It's a
like,
piece of
how
art.
do you really value something like that?
I absolutely see that. And I agree, especially with those watches that are very limited in numbers and it's truly a one-of-a-kind piece. So I get it. But I just want to do it.
Fair enough. Okay, so from... Oh, wait. It's your turn.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay.
Sorry.
Where are we at? Okay. If you could own any Speedy, vintage, or modern, which one would it be and why?
Man.
There's a lot.
I should have really thought about this question.
You already know mine.
Is yours Snoopy again?
No, it's the 50th.
If
If I'm getting one Speedy, like
the gold 50th anniversary.
I'm getting that gold. It's so pretty.
I feel like... I don't know. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Because I'm obsessed
you
with
talked about going vintage.
I'm obsessed with the Alaska Project, first of all. I'm obsessed with that one. I think that watch
would you wear it with the red case?
Yes, I would. So gangster. I think it's
so ridiculous.
Cool. It's ridiculous in every way.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, I would wear it with that big red outer hockey puck on it.
That's hilarious.
I mean, if I'm going more modern than that, like one of my favorite Speedmasters is the Aventurine dial moon phase. It's not the current moon phase collection. It actually has like the 4 sub-dial layouts like mine does, but it's a larger 44 millimeter.
Okay.
And it has an Aventurine dial. And the Aventurine is just so freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love that it was in the Speedmaster collection for that one watch. Yeah. And I've always wanted that watch. But then I feel like you kind of like, if you could get any Speedmaster, like something vintage, like the original CK2915 would be absolutely like just go for the first. And you know,
that's true.
And the thing is what I love about the Speedmaster collection is if you go vintage, you still it doesn't look ridiculously vintage because the Speedmaster hasn't changed that much. Like the original, the classic Moonwatch design, like the professional series, hasn't really changed all that much. So it still looks modern enough. It doesn't look like, you know, I'm wearing some dainty vintage piece. Now, if I went vintage, you guys better believe, like, I'm not washing my hands. I'm not like, that thing won't even sit next to the sink. Yeah. I will not push the water resistance on that.
What are you talking about? I went to the moon. Why are you scared?
There's no water on the moon, Cat. But yeah, I feel like that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is really tough.
And I don't think I even gave an answer.
I think there is a lot of good vintage ones. I think for me, now that I know that I'm not in love with vintage, I probably just would stick with the modern. That's why I'd go for the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, get that solid gold 50th anniversary.
Yeah. What do they call that gold color?
Moonshine gold.
Moonshine.
We should know this.
Man. Yeah. I do love it. It's so good.
It's beautiful.
All right.
So from @watch_obsession, Monta, Oaken Oscar, or Astor & Banks. You can only choose one. Which?
This is so hard. This is incredibly hard. First of all, it would be amazing to have each one of these watches in my collection. And I honestly hope to one day have one of each of these, especially we just talked about in the last episode, Astor & Banks a little bit, and some of the things they're doing. I'm a huge fan of Oaken Oscar, and I've honestly almost pulled the trigger several times.
On the Olmsted?
Yeah,
the white.
So
the white is so good.
Gosh darn it. I hate to say this as I'm like a Monta fangirl. I love Monta's design. And I think each of these brands offer something completely different at different price points, obviously. I think if you want that kind of military vibe, you go with Astor & Banks. I think if you want a casual, sporty, more field watch style vibe, you go with the Oaken Oscar. And then if you want that more refined, dressier vibe, you go with the Monta. So I think it just depends on what you're looking for, really. That's such an incredibly tough question. But I go Monta.
Can I just say ditto? Is that an acceptable answer? Yeah, I mean, it's honestly the same for all of that. We've not had any hands-on experience with Astor & Banks. We will be getting hands-on experience with them. But yeah, I mean, I think the same thing. It just depends on what kind of vibe you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, so many different
vibe. Yeah, for
style.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we love all three of them.
Answer. Speaking of.
Yeah, speaking of. So from the fellas over at Manta Watch, they asked, when is it acceptable for a young watch brand to do their first limited edition? Smiley face. We're going to take that smiley face as a hint, but
I'm totally taking that as a hint.
Yeah.
Clearly Manta is doing something soon.
Wonder what they're working up.
I don't know. I think you do it whenever it feels right. The thing that really, I get a little irritated with the community. Sorry, y'all, but there's so much hate on limited edition watches, and it really just gets on my nerves. Like, I mean, if a watch brand doesn't want to mass produce something, let them do it as a limited edition. That's fine. You know, some brands legitimately have a lot of things to celebrate, so they do a lot of limited editions. That's fine. And even if they do a limited edition because it's freaking Tuesday and they feel like it.
Yeah.
A lot of time, the thing that I don't like about a limited edition watch is I don't like when brands are lazy about it. I don't like when they just take the same watch. Maybe we'll change the dial color, make this one dial color limited edition. That I don't like.
So you want more of a story behind the watch?
Yeah, or a story behind it, or just
to
like
make it special.
A different design. I want something to be special about it.
I can see that.
Other than a different color dial. Like, kudos.
Yeah.
Also, hopefully Watson isn't doing that. Are they?
I don't know.
Dang. Is that harsh?
No, I can take that a little bit out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I'd be very excited to see kind of what comes out and what's coming up.
Yeah.
So what about you?
When is it acceptable? I think, like you said, it's got to be the right time. I think when the brand knows that it has a significant fan base, that they know that they'll do well with it. We've seen a lot of brands do it. Oak and Oscar did one last year. Was it last year? I can't remember now.
Yeah, with Wilson.
The Ashland that Oak and Oscar did. So I think it worked really well for them. And with Manta, I think they have such a hardcore fan base that they could do a small batch of a limited edition watch and it would do really well. And I think for the micro brands especially, or the independents, they're already seeing, they have a really good relationship with the brands and with the owners. And I think that they just want a way to feel a little bit closer to them and feel like, you know, they have something special. It's a little different than buying a limited edition Orist that does so many limited editions. They're a big company. I think it's a little bit more special when it comes from these guys because you're already a big fan.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel like you know them. And
all right. So next question. I feel like this is something we can all relate to. From acrylic_hand, why can't we stop and just be fine with the collection that we have? Because we're freaking addicts.
Yeah. It's an addiction for sure.
It's so ridiculous. It's so dumb.
And it carries over into, it doesn't have to be watches. I think everyone has like that small thing, with maybe exception my husband, who I don't know what he spends his money on, but like he just doesn't spend money. He's just like a funny picture. But like my father-in-law, for instance, he buys and flips trucks all the time.
Yeah.
He loves trucks and he'll buy the perfect one that fits every single one of the needs that he has. And then I'll flip it in like a year or two for something else.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with me and my watches. I do the same thing and a little less expensive than his, but I think everyone kind of has something similar along those lines.
People are into shoes,
bags, lots
or,
of things.
Yeah, leather goods in general. People are into home decor. Like how much home decor do you need? Yeah, exactly. So there's always something. We just are the small group of people who found watches to be that thing, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Do you?
Embrace it.
Do you? I've given up like all the hate that people give me for flipping watches and trading and buying and selling. It's like I got to the point where I just don't care.
Yeah.
It's my life.
Yeah.
I'll do what I want. Don't care.
Yeah.
Live your life.
And the reality is we have a finite amount of income.
Yeah.
There's always new things coming out. So yeah, I'm always going to be tempted by other watches.
I don't keep the same car for my entire life.
There you go.
Because I want something new after a few years. And same thing with watches. I've enjoyed it. Now it's time to move it on and get something new.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why it's so frowned upon.
As though like you're supposed to just build a permanent watch collection.
And some people do, and that's great.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. That sounded really sarcastic.
It did sound very sarcastic.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. I'm genuinely happy for you. I don't know how to say that without like
No, but I mean, I get that. It's very. I think it's hard because there's always there's so many great brands and there's so many great new releases, and we're always going to be tempted by other things.
Yeah.
So, I feel like it's finding what tempts you that you really, really love versus what tempts you and it's just lust.
Yeah.
So,
if you had asked me 2 months ago if I'd ever get rid of my Explorer, I'd say no. Then I did. And I don't feel bad about it. I haven't even missed it, which is crazy.
That is crazy because you can't even wear like what replaced it.
I know.
That's really crazy, actually.
All right. So the next question comes from at RF. I'm just going to spell it. RFGUIMARAESF. There's no way I could have said that. What do you ladies think of Bremont and IWC, especially their pilot watches?
I have nothing against either brand. I like both brands, actually. I've not had a lot of hands-on experience with either. I don't think I've ever had hands-on experience with a Bremont. I've not had extensive experience with IWC, just trying on people's at like the Watch Club meetups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or at like an event. I love the Big Crown. Mm-hmm. I love the way it sits on the wrist. I love the look of it. I think it's big. It's sexy. I love it. But that crown, it digs into my little wrist so much.
Yeah.
And I think that's my favorite watch from IWC, but it's trying to like pull something like that off.
Yeah.
I like their watches. I love the way that they photograph. I love when people post them, but I don't have the hands-on experience to really justify, any of it.
Yeah, same. I haven't had hands-on experience, a little bit with IWC, and that's about it, but none of their pilot watches, actually. Mm-hmm. I love the Spitfire. I freaking love that watch so much. It's hard for pilot watches for me because aesthetically there's so many that are really they're the same.
Yeah.
And I know there's subtle differences, but then it's like, why spend X amount on an IWC when I could spend half that and get a Stova or something that looks almost exactly like that, because the pilot watches are very similar.
Yeah.
So but I had a bunch of IWC for sure. I'm probably a bigger fan than Bremont, but again, I haven't really been hands-on, so I can't really say. And I'm not too familiar with Bremont, to be honest with you. I don't have an extensive knowledge of their models.
Yeah, no, so, same. Yeah. I see them every now and then on Instagram.
I just feel like maybe here in the States they're not as popular.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way? Because I've honestly just never seen one.
Yeah, I don't really know a lot of people who have one. I think I've seen one or two pass through, like with work. I don't see them carried
in a lot of our ADs.
Nobody carries them. I've never seen them in an AD. Or even while traveling, I've never seen them.
Yeah,
I don't have anything against them. I don't.
For me,
I don't know them. And I can like something, I can tell you that I like something, online or whatever. I can like the look of something, but I really am hesitant to say that I really, really like something unless I can actually like hold it in person.
Yeah.
Because pictures, pictures can be deceiving.
Definitely.
Things like that. So I'm really hesitant to pass like a firm judgment until I see something in person.
Yeah.
So, okay. So from from @blue_moose_racing, any watches you hesitated in buying, missed out, and regretted? Wait. Oh, that's a comma there. I should, read. Reading is hard sometimes. All right. Any watches you hesitated in buying, or any watches you missed out and regretted not pulling the trigger on?
I think I regret not pulling the trigger on a Rolex Hulk years ago.
You had an opportunity to buy at retail?
I mean, I think I could have had it took me a long time to desire that watch.
Yeah.
I started really liking that watch in the past probably 7 to 8 months. And then at that point, I am not going to get one. And then rumors started flying that it's going to be discontinued. So prices started going over the roof. But I love the watch now. And I'm just, again, there's no way I'm going to pay the prices that they're going for. And I missed out.
What about watches that you hesitated in buying that you actually bought?
Any watches you hesitate? Oh, that I hesitated in buying? I don't hesitate. I buy. Just to be honest with you, there's no hesitation. If my eyes are on something, I just do it. I don't agonize like you do.
I do agonize.
You do. You go through all the phases of
so much. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's too much. All right. So you'll probably hate me for this.
What?
I had an opportunity to buy a Snoopy at retail.
The white?
The white.
Oh my gosh.
Hated the watch.
Jeez.
Hated it.
Do you like it now?
I'm
you,
okay
well, you
with
said
it
you
now.
like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's not my like favorite watch. I like that I could sell it right now for like $40,000. So my dumbass would have sold it, when it was $18,000.
Oh,
not judging anybody who did.
Does it hurt you knowing that you could have had it?
From an investment point, like knowing that, man, I could have made $30,000.
But you're not a flipper at heart.
I would have. I'm a flipper for the right price. I'm anything for the right price. So yeah, I would have flipped it for sure. But I don't know that I would have had the patience to have held on to it for so long.
Yeah.
So, but
I think you would have. I think you would have kept it because it was limited.
I would have probably started
so you would have known.
it.
You would have known that eventually it would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Man.
Shit happens.
Anything. I mean, that you has everything.
I hesitate in buying everything. There's not a watch that I own that I haven't hesitated in buying.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Is there a watch that I own that I was just like, yeah, I'm going to do this? I feel like when I bought my Speedmaster, when I bought my Planet Ocean, which came first? I think the Planet Ocean came first. Whenever I bought like my first like really like expensive watch, I didn't really hesitate. I just did it. I mean, I was able to get it at a great deal.
But you also probably weren't as into do you think you were as into watches as you are now?
I was fairly into them at that point. Yeah. Okay. This was like three years ago. Yeah. So I was pretty into watches at that point. But but probably only because I got it at a stupid good price. So like maybe that has to do with
that.
It.
Definitely had
But even then, like I got the Manta at a phenomenal price and still agonized. You were part of that process of agonizing. I don't know. I'm a crazy person when it comes to buying
We're all
watches.
crazy. We all crazy. Okay, so from our buddy over at SoCal Watch Reviews, dream guest.
I don't know.
John Mayer.
Yeah, I feel that's the thing.
It's got to be a celebrity.
I feel like, I want it to be, if you're going John Mayer, I'm going Post Malone.
Yeah. He has a lot of watches.
He has a legitimate watch collection and he knows about he knows watches. That's the thing. Like there's a YouTube video of him talking, I forget like with who he's talking watches and like he goes over like.
I think it was like a, what's that magazine? Esquire?
I
don't know if it was Esquire. Yeah.
It was something like that. I'll link it in the show notes. But yeah, he talks about like why he buys things. And he talks about like he knows watches enough to know like the difference in factory set and how factory set watches like appreciate better and things like that. And he's just I love Post Malone and like what?
Daniel Craig or like all these ambassadors. But see, the thing is,
ambassadors would be cool. Yeah.
The thing is, like,
but
do they really love watches, or are they just a brand ambassador?
That's the thing about if we could get whoever works with Post Malone and John Mayer, could you guys just hook us up already?
Who else is really into watches?
I don't know. I need Dolly to be into watches.
I know. We just want to get her on our show, even if she doesn't like watches.
I don't even know what we talk about, but it's fine.
Yeah, we'll figure out something. I'd probably just start crying. I just love her so much. That's such a hard question.
I feel like it would have to be a celebrity, but definitely. I would want it to be somebody who likes genuinely watches to like watches, not because I think that's the hard thing about like Charlize Theron or
Jennifer
David
Aniston,
Beckham. Yeah, exactly. Everybody, Daniel Craig, Nicole Kidman. I feel like that's the hard part because I want to know that you're genuinely into watches. Now I have read that like George Clooney was genuinely into watches well before his time, and that's what brought him to Omega.
Okay.
I've read that. Obviously, nobody knows how true that is, and I think that's really cool. Like that he was a Speedmaster like fanatic before, and that's like how he kind of got tied in and being an Omega.
Well, I always see it as a big tell when you see these celebrities out and about just through Instagram, whatever, paparazzi photos, and they're not wearing a watch, and then they're brand ambassadors.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're just not a watch person. You wear it when you're dressed up at an event, but then you never wear a watch otherwise. And then there's celebrities that you always see with a watch on, and you're like, I wonder if they are a watch person, because a lot of people don't even wear watches nowadays.
Yeah.
They just don't. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good list.
I feel like
I was trying to think of a female, but I just don't know of any celebrities.
Ellen.
How
Ellen. Did we not?
Ellen would be fantastic. She is definitely into watches.
Get Ellen on this podcast? Who knows Ellen? We have thousands of listeners. Somebody knows somebody who knows somebody who's got a cousin and an auntie who knows Ellen.
That would be a far reach. But yeah, Ellen. I'd say, like, I can't believe Houdinki hasn't jumped on that yet. Because I could see that.
Houdinki listens to our podcast. Don't steal our idea, Houdinki. Or if you do, just let us do it.
People have been asking for it for so long.
Let us do it.
Yeah. Jerry Seinfeld's a big watch guy, too.
That would be fun. Oh, my God. That would be so fun.
Yeah.
Man.
The list goes on.
It really does.
Sorry, we'll go to the next question.
I'm excited to go to this next question, actually.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yes, I'm so excited. All right. First of all, again, I love this Instagram handle.
Yeah.
It's at Don't Tell the Wife Watches. All right. So we talked about this topic with Daniel, I guess at this point last week when we were talking to Mr. Granseco. What is the first watch you would co-buy and why?
I don't know. It's so hard. So I was thinking.
We were very hesitant about the co-buying idea anyways. If you haven't listened to that episode, you need to, because it really was a phenomenal chat.
Yeah, for sure.
But what do you got?
I'd say just as of late, something we both really, really like was that Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue. I think I could see that one because I already have my Harrods. So I have that one that's special. But then that would be the fun one that just goes back and forth between us.
Yeah.
What do you think?
All right. I love this question. I thought about the Black Bay.
Okay.
But I had a pretty solid plan from the beginning. Okay.
Oh.
So my thought is if we're going to do this, we need proof of concept. Okay. We need to know that, like, we can do this, we can share custody, and we're not going to, like, freaking drive each other insane, texting each other all the time. We're not going to, like,
which is hilarious because we
blah.
share all these watches that we get in for review. We don't even think about them because they're not ours.
There's been a time or two that I've probably been like, oh, man, like, I really
I get to, like, pick it up first.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, dang it. Now I have to wait to come over to Kat's house. Yeah, so a proof of concept. I think a watch that both of us really enjoy. We wouldn't have to spend a whole lot of money on it because, again, like, I don't want to spend a whole lot of money if, like, we decide that this doesn't work out, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the Black Bay Blue, we could just sell for a profit and we can make money on it. But I'm going to go, I think the teal blue, the teal retrograph from Brew. Is it the retrograph? It is.
Yeah, because that's the retro.
This is the Retromatic.
Yeah, it's
all the retro watches. Yeah. But we both really like that watch.
That's true.
It's not.
But we both couldn't pull the trigger on it for some reason or another. Right. We have too many watches.
Because there's the idea we have too many watches, blah, blah, blah. Like the excuses we tell ourselves, which are true excuses. But so spending, what was that watch? $400? $385, something like that?
Yeah, it was close to $400.
So $400, like, we may not want to do, but spending $200, for a watch that maybe we don't have all the time.
You put some thought into this.
I did.
Dang.
Like, I really did. We just need to prove that we could do it.
Okay.
Because we are, like, in case you guys haven't figured out, Kat and I are really close. Like, we chat all the time. Like, this isn't just, like, a once a week thing that we get on this podcast.
No.
Like, legitimately, like, BFFs. Like, ride or die.
I don't go a day without texting you.
No. Like, while you were on vacation, I tried to be so good. I was like, I'm not going to text
I started
Kat
texting
first.
you, though.
I know. But I was like, I'm not going to text her first. I'm going to, like, let her be on vacation and blah, blah, blah. And then there was, like, one day that you didn't text until, like, 4 o'clock. And I was like, she doesn't love me.
Oh.
She's moved on to her husband.
Yeah.
It's not fair. But no, I think a proof of concept, a pretty inexpensive watch that we both really, really like, but wouldn't necessarily be willing to commit the full price to because of, like, either we don't like it. Well, we do like it, but we don't know it enough to spend that much on it. And we know that we all have way too many freaking watches as is. So
I like
That's my idea.
I like it. I did not put that much thought into mine.
It's fine.
But you made a very good point, because the Black Bay 58 Blue is quite high. So that would be like a big buy. Like we'd really, like, I think that if we were going to ever do this.
I agonize over it. So like you'll be ready to buy this watch for 3 months and I'll just
like our name comes up on a list.
I don't know.
Very true. I think that's the smart way to go about it, is for the first one, it needs to be something lower price for sure. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Never know.
We'll see.
I love how everyone's like DMing us too that y'all should do it. Like, I'm glad that y'all live our lives. So like, you're gonna make us hate each other is what you're gonna do.
But we're not gonna hate each other over like something we each spent $200 on.
No, for sure.
That's my thought process. Is it's something that's so inexpensive.
And you wouldn't probably like super miss it when it wasn't there.
Exactly. Now, here's the big question, though. Mm-hmm. Who gets that first week?
The honeymoon phase.
Exactly. Who gets the first honeymoon and who gets
I think
the
it has to be a
seconds
flip
one?
of a coin.
It does have to be like the most random. Yeah, for sure. But also, the watch comes to your house first.
But I wouldn't open it.
Oh.
I wouldn't open it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd be nice.
You're so good.
Yeah.
I would have opened it.
Half the time I pick up the watches for us and I don't even open them.
That is true. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to not open them in my car outside of UPS.
Yeah.
So is that our last question?
I think that's the last one.
That was a fun one to end on.
Yeah, I think we're about an hour in. So
man, this is a long Q&A, guys.
It's good. It's all good. They were really good questions.
They were so good, and thank you guys for answering our stories and for submitting the questions. I'm sorry if we couldn't get to your questions. There were so many. This is probably one of the most engaging responses that we've gotten.
Usually we get all the please follow me and all those kind of like my page, and it is what it is. I think everyone knows what we're talking about. Everyone gets them.
The bot sort of bots too. Yeah,
and we get a million of them. And this time, there wasn't a single one. And there's a lot of great questions we didn't answer. We may keep them and answer them next time. But
so we might change up the Q&A format a little bit. We have some ideas.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right. Well, so head over to our website, www.tennand2.com for show notes. I'll try and remember a lot of the stuff that we talked about a lot today and put some links to some stuff in there. And make sure you're following us along over on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, on all of our social medias at Tenn and 2 Media. Go follow our YouTube page as well, which is just Tenn and 2 simple. And that is all, y'all.
Bye.
All right. Bye.